After destroying Mechagodzilla 3 years ago, Kong has made the Hollow Earth his new home and is looking for more of his kind. Godzilla, who killed Scylla in Rome and then rested in the Colosseum, keeps the peace between humans and the Titans on Earth's surface. The Monarch organization thinks there will be peace as long as Kong and Godzilla are on different planes. However, Kong does occasionally surface, particularly when he requires medical care. He needs a replacement tooth on one occasion due to an infection, which Trapper provides. Once his work is over, Kong returns to Hollow Earth. The Monarch wants to keep Kong and Godzilla apart because they are aware that Kong nearly died in their most recent encounter. An unknown signal is detected by a Monarch observation outpost located in the Hollow Earth. On the surface, Gia, the last known Iwi tribe survivor from Skull Island, experiences hallucinations and visions as a result of the signal, which worries her adoptive mother, Dr. Eileen Andrews. Presenting her findings to podcaster Bernie Hayes, Andrews seeks his assistance in deciphering the meaning of the signals. Following investigation, Bernie hypothesizes that the signal had previously corresponded with particular Titan occurrences on the surface. Therefore, the signal is Godzilla's distress call. Godzilla, who also detects the signal, flees Rome and strikes a nuclear power facility in France in order to absorb the radiation. Godzilla then makes his way to the Arctic stronghold of the Titan Tiamat. On Earth, Tiamat is the most abundant energy source. Tiamat is torn to pieces by Godzilla, who then goes into its lair to absorb all of the energy. Godzilla, according to the Monarch, is fortifying himself in anticipation of an impending danger. When a sinkhole forms next to his house, Kong finds a previously unexplored area where a tribe of his species, including a little one named Suko, has survived. The two gradually get close as they travel together, after Kong has Suko guide him to the tribe's lair following an initial altercation. Suko lures Kong into the path of many creatures in an attempt to murder him, but Kong easily destroys them all. Suko is reassured by this that Kong is resilient enough to handle the threats that lie ahead. With the help of Shimo, an ancient ice-powered titan that the Skar King controls with pain via a crystal, the tribe's despotic leader, the Skar King, fights Kong. The planet's latest ice age was caused by Shimo's breath. Kong's right arm gets frostbite from Shimo's icy breath, but he escapes with Suko's assistance, even though he loses his axe in the process. In order to find the source of the signal, Andrews, Gia, Trapper, a Titan veterinarian, and Bernie Hayes, a conspiracy podcaster, journey to the Hollow Earth. The Monarch outpost is destroyed when they arrive. Along the way to the signal's origin, the gang finds a temple behind an organic bioluminescent camouflaged barrier that takes them to a subterranean area where a surviving Iwi tribe lives and communicates with one another telepathically. After looking at a few sites, they conclude that the signal was an Iwi telepathic distress call. Andrews expresses to Trapper her concerns that Gia might decide to remain with her people, and that Andrews would have to accept that decision while she watches Gia interacting with the Iwi. Andrews discovers hieroglyphics depicting the past and future within a temple. The Skar King formerly fought Godzilla's race and tried to take over the surface world, but Godzilla vanquished him and imprisoned him and his tribe deep within the Hollow Earth. The Iwi people understood that an encounter between Kong and Skar King was inevitable after Kong had infiltrated Hollow Earth, and it was possible that Skar King would overcome Kong and use the portals to get to the surface. In order to get Godzilla and Gia's attention, the Iwi have started broadcasting distress signals. Gia is also mentioned in the prophecy as the key to Mothra's reawakening. Mothra is in charge of preserving harmony between the two domains and guarding the points of entry between Hollow Earth and Surface Earth. Kong senses Gia's temple, and in order to strengthen and repair his frostbitten limb, Trapper fits him with a prototype exoskeleton arm brace. Because it was kept at Outpost 1, the prototype exoskeleton arm brace was easily available. The Skar King gathers his invading force for Earth after learning that one of his supporters has followed them without their knowledge. The resurrected Mothra is successfully roused by Gia. Godzilla evolves and turns his dorsal plates purple after absorbing cosmic radiation from Tiamat's lair. Kong appears in Cairo and calls out to Godzilla in the hopes of luring him to the Hollow Earth to help him. An enraged Godzilla assaults Kong despite his attempts to communicate, and they engage in a brief altercation until Mothra shows up with Gia and persuades Godzilla to assist Kong. After that, the three travel to Hollow Earth to confront Shimo and his army and the Skar King. Godzilla, Kong, Shimo, and the Skar King are all dragged to Rio de Janeiro by the fight, and at the Skar King's orders, Shimo starts to create another ice age. Shimo blasts the heavens with his icy breath, blotting out the light and covering the sky. The battle results in the destruction of Rio, and despite multiple tries, neither faction is able to defeat the other. Faction balance is maintained until Zuko shows up with Kong's axe and breaks the crystal that controls Shimo. The pain has subsided, and Shimo is now listening to Godzilla, who directs him to the Skar King. Shimo freezes the Skar King, and Kong smashes and shatters the Skar King. Godzilla uses his atomic breath to reverse Shimo's ice age and then returns to the Colosseum for a rest. Reunited with Andrews, Jia chooses to remain with her adopted mother, which alleviates her anxieties. After rebuilding the Iwi's house's barrier of defense, Mothra leaves. Upon returning to Hollow Earth with Shimo and Zuko, Kong assumes the role of chief of the ape tribe.